So, not too long ago, I stared at an email with a big bold word that said denied. See, my change request, one that I thought was crucial to my project, was shot down by a change board. I'll admit, my first thought was, how could they not approve this? But then reality started to set in. Handling denied change requests is part of project management. And what I learned from this experience could definitely help you out with your next change request and possibly even your project. Let's dive in. If you've been in project management long enough, you've probably faced rejection. It's part of the job. Whether it's budget constraints, misalignment with project goals, or just a lack of detailed justification in your change requests that allows them to get denied, we've all been there. But here's the key. It's not about rejection. It's about what you do next. First things first, don't panic. Losing your cool won't help, and it could damage any relationships you have with your stakeholders that you're going to need later on. Instead, focus on understanding why the request was denied. Was it a lack of information? Maybe some timing issues or budget constraints? Misalignment with the project goals? Once you have answers, you'll become better equipped to plan the next steps of what you're going to do. Now that I've had time to assess the impact of denial, how did it affect my project scope, timelines, budget, and deliverables? And I figured out what adjustments I needed to make to keep things on track. And it all reminded me of when I used to train Marines to do convoy operations overseas. One of the key lessons I taught was about IED detection and response. And here's the truth. If we had a perfect solution for detecting and avoiding improvised explosive devices, we wouldn't have needed the training. But we don't live in that type of perfect world. And sometimes, no matter how prepared you are, you hit one. So my role was to help mitigate the risk, teach detection, and share best practices. But ultimately, the most critical part was training them how to respond if they did hit an IED. Why? Because it's not just about the event itself. It's about what you do afterwards. That's what defines the outcome. And the same principle applies here. If your change request gets denied, you've essentially hit the IED. What matters now is how you respond. That's where assessing the impact and updating your plans come into play. It's about taking control of what happens next. Now, if you plan for this possibility in your risk assessment, good for you. Move this issue from the risk section to the issue section of your RAIDs log and start reworking your plan. In my case, though, the denial was not about deliverables, and it wasn't actually in my risk log. It was about governance. The board felt we could meet our project goals without the requested changes. So what did that mean for us? Well, a condensed timeline and a ton of paperwork. We had to quickly pivot and focus on getting the approvals in probably a record time. Communication is your lifeline in moments like this. Transparency builds trust, even in these tough situations. So it's key to keep your stakeholders informed. Explain the impacts of the denial and share your plan to navigate through the challenges. Keep your stakeholders informed. This principle works just as well as it did in the corporate world as it did in my time in the Marine Corps. And then that's where this whole process is where creativity comes into the fact. Gather your team, brainstorm solutions, and consider submitting a modified request if you have to. Sometimes a tweak in the proposal can turn a no into a yes, while other times you'll need to innovate with constraints that you've been given through the denied change request. Finally, Take this as a learning opportunity. Why was the request denied? How can you improve for next time? And make sure you document everything in your lessons learned repository so that way you can use it in the future, or maybe a fellow project manager can too. And these insights will make your next change request stronger and boost your chances of success when you need it. So here's my big takeaway. Every rejection is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve yourself. When your change request gets denied, remember to stay calm, assess the impact, communicate effectively to your stakeholders, explore alternatives, and document your lessons. These steps won't just save your project, they'll make you a better project manager. All right, now it's your turn. Have you ever faced a denied change request? How did you navigate the situation? Go ahead, share your experiences in the comments below. Let me know. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for more project management tips. I'll see you next time. Stay motivated, stay dedicated. 44 Risk PM out.